and internet connection is unstable. Thank you very much. That photo was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women chain making, and there's still a few. When we got the terraced houses bottom of our road, we still got the chain making outhouses. I think there's 2 left. Still got the outhouses with a bench on and all that crap. But it was well known around here. Right, moving on. From what I've done so far, setting up, i.e. sleeper raised beds down the middle, all these troughs, these pots which cost a bit and whatever. Rosie? It do cost a bomb, so how do I do that in this sense? Well, basically, mother in law passed away end of last year, meaning I was getting on a bit. I'd had a good innings and I'd still got a head screwed on. I knew what was going on, but I got arthritis in the hands, meaning I couldn't do anything myself. And for years, the Mrs. Lynn, as soon as she's finished school, has been legging it down there to look after her mother. I sort her out with everything, basically, cooking, washing, and whatever. I wanted tea time. The only way I could do it was for me to start cooking and cook everything. That's why I've been cooking for years, because Lynn has always been down her mother's. So we've got a bit of money to spend. So obviously I'm borrowing it off Pet. But it don't always work like that. This is the first time we've ever had an extra bit of money since I retired. On the left, got my auntie Beryl and my mother on the right, Joyce. 2 sisters. Beryl got no kids, so I'll look after her for yonks as well. This photo was taken when they both got Alzheimer's. Roland and Beryl, Roland knew he was dying because they got no kids. Says, look after Beryl, what to do, everything is yours. He says, well, we'll look after her on your own. And when he did go, I was down there every other day. If I was at work, i.e. fire service, because we used to work 2 days, 2 nights and 4 off. So at least I've got 6 out of the 8 days I can leg it round there. So, well, I did anyway and looked after her. And I looked after her for yonks. Then when I retired, I wanted a part-time job, so I went to a job centre. And I says, I want a part-time job, but I've got to look after my aunt. And the wench behind the counter says, what do you mean look after her? I says, well, look, I've looked after her for moons. But I've still got to look after her, or I got nobody else. And this is what hours you put in, told her. He says, you know, you could have been getting attendance allowance and carers allowance. Anyway, too bloody late then. So I get up looking for a job and just looked after her there. And I got the allowances, but they lasted 2 years, then I come down with dementia. I couldn't cope in the end because I was still at work, and I was, well, I couldn't do it, so I had to put in a rest home. Now, whether it's hereditary or not, we don't know. I think it is. Not long after, well, say 3 years, mother come down with it as well. Father couldn't cope. I was just walking out the house, and I couldn't cook. That's how father started cooking. And luckily, the home had got 1 twin room. I managed to get that and get them both in. And basically, when Roland was alive, he was a builder, and he lived down Maypole Fields, and there was 8 cottages down there. Proper old cottages with a black grated fires where he did it cooking, outhouses, brew house, and he owned all them. He had his bungalow. Basically, what I'm saying is, Beryl was in the home for about 10 years, and he was costing $2 grand a month, and that's where all the money went. Meaning, being our kid, don't get a lot at all. Exactly the same as mother. Father went first. Mother's fee was exactly the same, obviously, in the same home, and all her money went as well when we flogged the house. So it don't always work that you're going to get money in the end. Just talking on a quick one on dementia and Alzheimer's. When it first come out, well, it hadn't been out long when Beryl had it because they didn't know what it was or how to cope with it or whatever. And I was thinking back when I was in the fire service, it was not far from Brum, and we used to go to Rubery Hospital, which is the mental institution. Well, basically it was a nut house, but they were nutters. Well, they was then because they didn't know what it was, but it was people who got dementia. Weird, strange. And right, let's go on. This is last Saturday. My fry-up, start of the day and the house for the summer and all. Right, Ben, hello friends, happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well. Last week I had a good session, you keep catching on in with this midnight runners crew. We ran through the city of London, circuit training every few kilometres. Needless to say. He was knackered the next day. They started off, this has been going a few years, they started off running at midnight, but then it was a bit dodgy, so they start at 7 o'clock on the evening now. There was a few hundred of them just legging it through London, just keeping fit basically. And it's a good workout for him, because most people at work, they can't go to a gym or whatever. Works out well. Right, I had this off Jeffrey earlier on in the week. Haven't been on the sesh much, maybe not this week. Fishing has come in for a month early, so between fishing and gardening, he's gone fishing instead. Thank you, Jeffrey. Very kind of you, sir. I like me fishing all. Jeffrey, am I on?
If you can hear me, Mick, yes, but I
good man. Do you want to talk through these?
Hear you. Yeah, I can barely hear you. There's something wrong with the audio here. I don't know. I can just make out what you're saying. If it's why I've not been on for a few weeks, just because we've been fishing here, and it's all the fish are here about a month earlier than other years, because the water hasn't cooled down. Eels from the sea, really big ones, nice ones that we normally only get in November here. Normally leave this time of year, still here en masse. Now, what I think you call our dabs are here. They're like a place, but without the red spots. I think you call them dabs, I'm not sure. So we've been fishing. This is on the beach. We're only allowed 2 rods, but
back
on there now.
Right, Jeffrey, you're still with us?
Muted.
Is he legged it fishing again?
He's muted.
Yeah, no, he's muted. He's opened it now.
No. Now I can hear you.
Good man.
I didn't know what it was.
Oh, we bloody summit. Jesus H. Christ. Jeffrey, is that you in the waiter?
No. That's I took the picture of Paul who was fishing with us. We're about 4 or 5 fishing like this, and they have brown shrimp.
That's better on.
We just pull a net over the water with like sleds on the side, with fine mesh, and we get the shrimps. Then we cook them, and they're great. Them, but fresh. And there you see, that's the shrimp we get. Then the sea bass.
Nice.
What bait use lures?
For the sea bass, it's different from the place you fish depends on what you use. If I'm casting from the beach, I'll either use ragworm or little squid, and I throw them in just on the hooks, just with an anchor, a lead with hooks on, so it grabs. Or if they're big like this and the sun is shining, I use a float, a big float with a weight in it, so you can throw far away, and 1/2 meter of line under there, and then you can use artificial lure. But it has to be, I find, a white one, a white artificial lure, and you'll get them.
We use lures down Weymouth when we could the beach mackerel. They're crackers there.
Yeah, normally they're all gone this time of year. And somebody started catching them, so we said, we'll have a try. And then normally the only thing we catch the first week of October normally for us is whiting. And that's it. Then you've got to wait till about December to possibly get a little cod. But that's it. Normally we don't see this from the beginning. The latest we get soles, Dover soles, is halfway of August, and then they're gone. Sea bass normally end of August and they're gone. So I don't know what's happening this year, but the water really, like when you're trawling the net behind you and you put your hands in the water, it's not cold. You can feel the temperature difference, but it's not cold yet. So we think it's still the warm water that's going on here. And today I took one of the giant cabbages from Neil Hans I had. He's starting to split. So I said, okay, I'll lift this one and weigh him. And he was 5 kilos and just under. So I don't know if that's good or not good. I don't know. It's big as dove grown. And there's one still growing. And there's little bit of give in the heart of it yet. So I think that one will be a little bit better. But we'll see. As soon as it gets to burst, I'll lift that one and have a look as well.
Is that the biggest one you've grown?
Yeah.
Then that's good for you then, eh?
Yeah, good to me, but I don't know how much good it is, like in your country, so I don't know. Yeah, that's stinky stuff. I saw a video on, I think it's called the Viking Gardener or something on YouTube, to make your own fish fertilizer. So I said, why not? We'll have a go. So I put in whiting, mackerel, then Dover sole heads and skins. But then I also got crab, so crabs from trawling. I put them in, said, see if the shell melts in there or not. If the fish bones do, maybe the shells will melt as well. So I put that in, and then I had to make, it's like you have, when you make cheese, you have the whey and the curds. So I had to make that, and you need the whey in there, and you need leaf mold, and then you need mycorrhizal fungi in there. So I said, well, I'll put all that in, and just to be safe, I'll add in some yeast, some dried yeast. So I said, I'll see what it does. So they said, just put like the water caps on there you use for the water locks you use for making wine, for brewing wine. So I had them left anyway, so I said, I'll put them in. So every day I stirred this till it started to ferment. I was all fine. And Friday after work, I went to the garden. I had a look, and all of those water locks, they keep the smell down, so you don't smell it. And it was all good. And all the red tops had shot off, and all the liquid came through, and was all on top of the lids, and it stunk to high heaven. So So I said, okay, today I've got to get another bucket, take some out of it, of all 3 buckets, put it in the other one. So I've got another bucket there now today. And now they're all about 10 centimeters from the top. So it should be okay. But they say for the winter, move them inside. But they can do what Mick says they can do. They can suck it for now. I'm not putting that in the polytunnel. No way. No way.
Poor dog, get any ideas? We have wine.
That's it.
I'm
Get that, yes. Fish wine.
Fish wine.
That's one way of keeping the people off your plot, isn't it?
yeah, but
Definitely.
believe me, that it's just in the corner. I said nobody ever goes in that corner or passes that, so I'll put them there. And somebody said, make a hole, dig them in. So if they run over, it won't be so bad. I said no. So I'll see. I'll just put plastic over that and leave it there all winter, and we'll see what happens. So according to this Viking gardener or Viking gardener, I think it is. It should be ready about June next year, and everything should have been eaten, even like the fish bones and everything should be eaten. I also added molasses in there.
It's worth a try, now. Well, if he does it.
But it's a very good. I find it's a very good channel for information, but I think it's American. I'm not sure, but for information, it's like really good. I said okay, so he kind of makes fertilizers and pesticides and everything, but all organic from natural stuff. If they work, I don't know, but it seems to be good, so I'll give it a go and see what happens.
Busted. Cheers, Jeffrey.
That's right.
There's some more of yours on in a bit.
Yep.
No, there are. One foot in the grave, I thought it was brilliant. Ex-forces, you usually got a good sense of humour. Well, you both, but yeah, otherwise, you can make it good. This was off Kath last week. If you remember, I mentioned a bird custard. Catherine, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yelma Star, you can talk us through.
Well, it was, as I said last week, a visit to Myerscough College, which is the local agricultural and horticultural college. And we were having a look round the greenhouses, and one of the tutors showing us round gave us all these geranium cuttings and I said, oh, I have real problems with geraniums. Doesn't matter what I do, they never take. And she said, use bird's custard, but the one that you need to mix milk with, not the one with water. And I thought, well, she's not having me on. Anyway, sure enough, there you go, there's the proof. Nearly all of them have struck. There was a couple on the left-hand side that frazzled a bit, but they're a very small, delicate leaf, and I think it was they went mouldy. It wasn't that they didn't take. She said water them once and put bags on them, and then just leave them. Maybe I should have checked them a bit more regular, but I'll be having another go with a scented geranium I've got at home in the bathroom, because that's gone really straggly and hot. It's not a nice looking plant anymore, so I'll be having a go with that.
Lizzie, you got your hand up, you want a question?
Is that where they get the saying the proof is in the pudding?
Oh, Lizzie, I'm quick tonight, are you?
Very good.
I like it. Another one of yours, Kath?
And then this one was whitefly. It was mentioned last week about whitefly and thrips. And this is just show what whitefly looks like. It's so tiny, and you just knock the plant and there's clouds of the stuff. I have sprayed and sprayed and sprayed and just can't get on top of it. We're gonna have to send everything to the tip. This is on a sweet pepper plant. They've just been an absolute nightmare this year, and we've had them outside as well, which is something we've never had before. I think it's the heat.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the heat. But thrips, the thrips are a totally different looking pest. to that.
Paul, you got a question about this one? Mine on this.
Yeah, you know your white flies. We've been invaded the last few days. Out our front garden, out the back garden, white fly them everywhere, flying everywhere. I've never had that back garden before. Them everywhere. I've been spraying my bananas. And them everywhere. That's happening. That's right there now.
See how loopy weather.
I don't know where they come from, but they're everywhere.
I'd rather have white fly than a thrip.
I don't know. There's been absolutely clouds and clouds of them. They are painful.
Yes,
And then, I just can't get on top of them. And then this is...
Try neem oil. Neem oil and fairy liquid. That seems to work.
Tried all sorts. Can of stuff, some other whitefly stuff. I've made neem oil and other things. Tried, soapy water. Just
the one I heard on the internet was baking powder. I don't know how to do that works.
I did bicarbonate and neem oil because that's what I used on powdery mildew. It works for powdery mildew, doesn't work on whitefly.
No.
But then this last photograph is, I think it was Suzanne last week who mentioned about something on her brassicas. This is the woolly aphid, and I've only got this on the brassica. This is a what's it called? It's a kale plant. I've actually pulled it out today and put it in a bag to go to the tip because there's no way as I'm messing about with that and trying. It's just not worth it, and it was only a straggly plant anyway. But as you can see, the grey and the like fluffy almost, and they're quite different to the normal green aphids that we get and the blackfly that we get. Again, we've not really been bothered with these before, and I'm putting it down to the heat. Yeah. And there's no one nearby grows. We're the only people growing for probably about half a mile, so I don't know where they've come from.
There's always summer.
Oh yeah, that was just a close-up of one of the little delightful creatures. So I think that was about it, wasn't it, Mick?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Cheers for that, Kath.
No, thank you.
Boston.
They can get blown in from miles, you know. Once the wind catches them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, a good trophy shopper rang us up. All my trophies engraved, so I went to pick them up, as I do. I legged it down Abbey Road allotments, although I'm not there anymore. Somebody rung me up, asked me if I wanted any reapers. I was going to get rid of their plant. I said, just go down and help yourself. And opposite her plot, walking back up, I go past my old plot, i.e. my old tunnel. So I opened the door and took a photo of my grapevines. He's doing, look at him, perfect. Glad to see he's still looking after them. That one's always been better than him. Obviously, I've got a purple and a green. But he's doing his own bit in the tunnel. But good to see he's looking after me stuff. Right back on top of the garden. I jobbed that lot down the end. And I noticed that flap had opened up. My own fault was when I took all the crap out of there when I put that mesh down. I forgot to put a structure at the back there, meaning whatever it is, cat, fox, whatever. You just legged it through there. So I thought, got me another piece of grid, bung that at the back of there, and put that back up. No problem with that since. Thank you very much. To the side, because it looks a bit naff, i.e. you see all the rough edges facing this road. So I just took them up and put them at the back. Hung them on the back timber, looks a bit better. Fish hydrolysate, liquid fish. Started pouring a few more of these out. That's the containers I get it in. You give me these because This is Gareth Hopcroft when he was working in his hydroponic shop. He started making this fish. This is the last dollop he made before his missus threatened to leave him, or I was going to kick him out. And he tried to flog these bottles in the hydroponic shop, and nobody would buy them, because when they fill the bottles, when they was still warm or whatever, when they got cooled down, it just indented the, it sucked in the bottles. And they all thought he was naff, and nobody would buy him. So he gave me them all. He's a good lad. And out of them drinking bottles, waiter, I can fill 2.5 of them up out of one of these. And I've still got a few more of these left.
In the kitchen? How'd you get away with that?
The missus saying,
You not can get away with that.
it's when I go out shopping with a mate.
Ah, that's sweet.
You got to keep the peace.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it if it was here. Gordon, Penny.
that was it.
The labels I used to do myself, where I'd just leg them down and take them up grade Leith and have a proper printed out. Obviously, them sticky labels. And I just bung them on. Them little ones there, them what I donate to raffle prizes to gardening clubs when I do my talks, because I'm a good egg. So back on that one. While I was down the plot, I went and got some more 8-foot canes, straightens, perks, because they're going to go soon. Because I'm doing sweet peas for our show next year, and peas, exhibition peas, because I ain't doing onions anymore. So I've got our next committee meeting, I'm going to put peas in. But I'll explain that next month. Right, this one is me red currant, as you can see, and if we look closely, started to shoot already. So all we need is a cold night to knock everything back, keep it in check. Or because our weather is loopy. Dave Chesterfield, he's got a few photos. Are you there, Dave?
Yeah, can you hear me, mate?
Yes, all yours, Dave.
Cheers, mate. Last weekend, on the 8th and 9th of October, I went to the 71st British National Prowling Championships, and it's the first time that it's been held in my county, Derbyshire, and it was on the Duke and on the Chatsworth estate, which is only about 50 minutes drive from me. And there are around, I think it was 230 top ploughmen and women from all over Great Britain competed. And there were a total of 15 different ploughing classes over the 2 days. And over 300 ploughing plots were marked out. It was massive, enormous what they'd done. And there are also steam ploughing engines, which is one of them before there, and vintage tractors, and they were competing. And then my favourite, the horse ploughing, which I love to watch. And there were at least 12 pair of horses turned out with the brasses and leather harnesses. And they were competing in the general purpose ploughing on the first day. And I think on the second day, it was the stylish traditional high cut ploughing. This is a steam plough in action. And the steam plough was the first successful method of powered cultivation. And it was developed by John Fowler of Leeds in 1863. And it was part of the mechanisation and industrialisation of agriculture during the 19th century. And before the tractors were developed in the early 20th century, steam ploughing was the first method of mechanisation. And this steam ploughing involved 2 steam traction engines. On this picture, the one at the far field and one at this end on to the right. And each had a drum carrying a cable suspended beneath its boiler. And what these, as I said, were located on the other side of the field. And the engines took turns in winding the cable across the field, to which a special balanced plough was attached. And by the mid-1960s, Fowler had devised his basic ploughing engine and his design, which he kept improving, but it was to remain in operation of the last ploughing engine left Fowler's works in 1933. And he also exported them all over the world, But because it was very expensive for most farmers in this country, a lot of it was done by contractors. And the primary purpose of ploughing was to turn over the upper layer of the soil. That was to bring fresh nutrients to the surface, while it was burying weeds and the remains of the previous crop, and then allowed to break down. Next one, mate. This one, I thought it was brilliant. You can make out the cable, just where the furrows are, what was pulling it. This part was ploughing from left to right, and they got people sat on it to weight it down. He pulled it up to the steam engine. They both moved forward. Then this what's up in the air came down. The back end cocked up, and he ploughed the other way then. I thought it was absolutely fantastic how they worked it. Marvellous setup. Right, mate. And this is my favourite. I just love heavy horses. And I horsed them right from being a boy. I can remember being at school, I'd be about 8 or 9, and there was a small farm, I think about 50 acres, right outside of the school. He used to keep a few sheep, and I think it was short-owned cattle. Most of the land was to pasture, but he used to plough a small field with his 2 horses right near the classroom window. I used to sit there and looking out at the window, and I was amazed at watching him. And then suddenly the teacher would shout, "Goodwin, you haven't heard a word I've been saying." And he was right what he was saying. But I could have told him how many times the farmer turned his horses. And then at 13 or 14, I used to go potato picking. I used to do it in autumn, the autumn holiday from school. And I used to bike it to my grandma's. I used to stop the week with her, and the farm was just down the road. I used to go down on Monday morning, early Monday morning with my cousin. We used to have a plot for 2 of us. Well, it was massive, I know. And then tractor used to come up, he used to turn spuds out. And we used to pick them up with buckets and then empty them into Hessian sacks. And then they used to come on with 2 shire horses with a great dray. And they used to load these sacks onto the back of the dray and take them back to the farm. What I liked for me were end of the day, we used to get up dray and used to pull the horses used to pull us back to the farm. So I just love them. All right, mate. That was another set. I mean, over a century ago, the power on farms were provided by 1.5 million heavy horses. That's some horses there. And they were the pride of rural Britain. And the men who worked them with these horses, they were considered the elite among farm workers. But today, you can drive it countryside and virtually a distant memory. Right, mate? That's another set. I mean, in the day when horses were still dominant on farms, the shire horse were the most popular breed in England and Wales. It was the tallest in the world, larger than the Clydesdale, and it was the ultimate workhorse. Admitted it was slow, but it was dignified, it was even-tempered, and it had tremendous strength, stamina, and the capacity really to adapt to any working situation. But in the north of England and Scotland in the 19th century and early part of the 20th, the Clydesdale, they were the most popular up there in Northumberland and Scotland. When he said a pair of Clydesdale working with an experienced ploughman, he can plough an acre a day, and the distance of ploughman wallow is about 10 to 12 miles every acre. Right, mate. They're magnificent creatures. Come on, mate. And again. And again, mate. And that's some ploughing. Next one, mate. Just look how straight them lines are. They're magnificent. But when I was watching them, they spent time. They do probably, I don't know, 3 foot. And then they stop and they were just in the plough, probably half a turn here and half a turn there. That was foot depth and the lay of the land. And I was talking to an old lad there. Well, they were old, I mean I am, but I reckon he'd been round clock twice. But he was telling me he come from Cornwall. And he was saying that if you get the plough set properly, he said it'll more or less plough itself. Look how straight that is. Well, mate. Oh, hang on, just go back, mate, that one. Just go back. I was just going to say, to me, when I was looking at that, I thought, well, there's nothing nicer than land lining, even furrows like that, glinting in sun. And it also reminded me of looking at corrugated sheeting after a shower of rain. I think that looks brilliant. Right, mate.
Had a good day for it, Dave?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. I mean, to watch the horses work, it was fantastic. Loved it. That was just a photo I sent Mick. I've swapped all my greenhouse around now. Now I've done growing for show. So I knocked a table up to put my propagator on it greenhouse, because I used to keep it in spare bedroom to do my propagating, which I think the wives are very pleased about that. Right, mate. Right, mate. We're down the centre of the greenhouse, so I used to have another full bench. I used to have the lights up in top of greenhouse, which I could lower down, and all my exhibition stuff grew in there. But now I've stopped going for show. I've took the middle bench out, built one at bottom to put propagator in, and I've still got my 2 sides to work on.
Paul, I know what you're going to ask.
You got cannons down the bottom?
Right, yeah.
Durban?
I had
What did them all off?
My missus liked them, and the one tried to come in flower. I think it's the back one, and she said I got to bring a big greenhouse to keep them warm. So I just do as I'm told.
What is that, sorry?
Yeah, so I do as I'm told, which every good man should do.
Yes, correct.
I think that's
You should know that, Paul.
Whatever.
Cheers, Dave. Excellent.
Yeah, Dave.
Pleasure, mate.
Jeffrey, got a question, mate?
Not a question, just an observation for Dave Goodwin.
Yeah.
I put it on the chat here too. If you look on YouTube, and if you like heavy horses, there's a city in Belgium, and it's called Oost-Duinkerke. Look at it on YouTube, and you can find fishing for brown shrimp with horses. It's a really good clip. If you like heavy horses, that's a good thing to watch.
Yeah, I've always loved them. I love to watch them work. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, well, here they fish with them for brown shrimp. They've been doing it since 18, I think it's 86. And every day in shrimp season, they go out, and the tourists can go with them. Just check it out on YouTube. It's a good one.
I will do.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Cheers, Dave. Right, going to the tour coming up, so I'll get the rough prizes ready. Get that sorted day before. Taking the hound out first thing in the morning. Still ain't had a frost yet. Getting close. And we got I think it's a mile next week and all.
Metaphor.
We pay our rates up here.
Last Monday, I got out to the car, got to work. I put the wipers on, the windscreen was solid.
Really?
Yeah, that's fun.
We did get
Down
that.
the old area. Down
Oh,
the old, that's why.
you got to pay your rates, Scott. Right, my first talk last week, Tuesday. This was down Sleepy Hollow. Tuesday 11th. This was a Bucks DA, District Association, National Venture Society, Wingrave Community Centre. That's setting up. The number of people was down. I think it's the bloody COVID's about again. We've had it at the last 3 meetings, the inputs. But just in there, we got our Rowley. Good to see Rowley again, and Darren. I ain't seen him for a couple of years. But that was ready for the talk there. This is all goodies. Rowley goodies. Antill topsoil. Now that's a new one on me. Bloody big antills. Good brew.
What I will do is I'll take a picture of the field, Mick, where you can see how many anthills there are up there. They look like molehills, but they're not. They're actually anthills, and there's dozens of them. There must be some strange type of ant, I think, but it'll need some, body that knows all about ants to let us know that.
You know how old an ant lives?
Sorry?
An ant, how old it lives to?
How old? They're old fields because they're still in
29 years
well,
old,
Ridge Thorough.
29 years old, they live for ants. I don't know, that's all there was something on Facebook about ants. I thought, well, 29 years old.
Is that a bit clayey, Mick?
Hey?
Do you think that soil is clay?
I really had a good perv at it. I haven't had time yet.
Yeah.
I could mix it up a water and have a testy mark.
It's a bit dry, but it's come out of a grass field, and it's only real old pasture, never been reseeded, and it's probably only had sheep on it for the last 50 years anyway.
Yeah. Do you get much rain down there?
Apart from the rabbits. No, but that, in actual fact, where I took that from, that's on the hill where the springs run underneath it that I feed the whole of the farm with water. But it is quite dry.
Somebody else will get us 2-year-old 100% peat-free compost. No worms occurred during the manufacture. Does not contain nuts. Just wood chip, horse shit, and fresh grass cuttings. And there's that brew. So I'm going to trial all these. Field gathered sheep manure. Look at that. I might bung that through the shredder.
I thought he was still a bit wet for that. That's why I never done it before I sent it to it, or before I gave it to it.
Yeah. Well, I took a double hand out, which we'll see later on, and there was quite dry actually. Biochar with his stallion juice.
It's got nothing else except the wood chippings, or the biochar, or the bio chippings, and the liquid stallion juice.
Excellent. Worming in number 1, recycled used clover. Food prep waste, banana skins, eggshells, 2-year-old.
That is what I've been mixing with the biochar down my end.
Yeah.
50-50 mix. That's what I've been doing with it.
And that's that brew. Looking good, Rowley.
Try.
Recycle weed growers fly-tipped coir. This is a druggist when they get rid of all the crap. Old Rowley gives us a good egg. He picks it up and throws it away for him. But he takes it home and goes through it. Motorised sieve, then through shredder. And you can tell there is coir for another good brew. And stallion juice. I'm just going to take the lid off and show you.
Got it from here.
Posting, cheers for that, Rowley. Good to see you.
Right. You're welcome.
Right, this is a photo our kid sent us, obviously, because of me bougainvilleas on it. So he's got to be somewhere nice and hot. And this was obviously the week just gone. And he went to Kos with his mate. Basically, they was legging it on ferry to different small islands, climbing. There's our kid and another ex-fireman. Good lad, but he likes his climbing and all. That's one little route they had. This was just to get them going, to get them warmed up. And they legged it up there. Look at this lot here. This is the runoff aid from the top. Bloody houses here. Gordon Bennett. Then he rode up.
Gee whiz.
Next day, because I've been warmed up, they went a bit higher. They know it's going to be good weather, that's why I'm there. And they know it's should be good anyway because the season can work it out. I think there was 5 of them in the end. But obviously that's Pete taking the weight of our mate coming up. That was our kid again. And they all abseiled from the top down. And they all wanted to do it, obviously. But Pete says, well, if we all do it, there's nobody to take a photo. So for this time, he volunteered to walk down. And when he was ready in place, he then told him to come down so he could get a photo of him. That's on the night again, having another meal. Jerry Edwards has been on again tonight doing another apple seminar on Joe today. This was during the week. Giving a talk in growing apples and pears to the Soreton District U3A Gardening Club. I've given quite a few talks to them U3A. These are usually on the afternoon for the old ones. But still getting them out. I think Jeffrey sent me this one. I'm sure he did. But as you can see, it's a floral agent in the mall, Colombia. That took some doing. Impressive mine. Takes up a load of space. Also, this was put on Facebook and for Gladys. So there's 3 or 4 different colours in that one. And ruffled flowers as well, that's what I like. I've got a couple of them going down, we'll see them in a bit. But he was a nice one. The peach is still got loads of green on it. As soon as you do get a slight frost, then obviously he's got to go in the greenhouse. The cannas. Right, I mentioned this last week, my plum tree. So I messaged Jerry. I said, rub him off. Cut him off or what? Just rub him off. So I did. It was too early. Right, chopped kitchen waste. Getting all the dead ending up. This off the clematis, everything. Chop it up. Smaller the ingredients, quicker to break down. Dailies have done great, except for the wind. So I'm going to chop them up as well. That's my green waste. I've got my carbon. That will mix well with that. Put my little bits in, eggshells, normal porridge, and all that crap. Right, I've done this lot because these extras, double handful of everything out of rollies, I'll put in that bucket. I'm now going to mix that up, which is that lot there. And that's going in there. This is why I want to put these through the shredder next week. But this lot is a cross. If that don't get me worms going, nothing will. They should have a field day. Mix them up. And that show I went to at Anbury in July. We'll come on to that one again later on. This is that giant tortoise crap I got. So I ripped that up by hand, smaller lumps. That's my leaf mould, a few worms in there for another good brew, mixed all up, beautiful. Normal thing, take the carpets off, bung it in, water it. That's got a fish mix in. Carpets back on, nice and moist, lid on. Liquid or smoke, that's ready for next week. One for you, Paul. Ireland's one of the wettest places on earth. If you see an Irishman with a tan, it's rust. I'm glad you're laughing.
This is Irish. You got left. Little family.
Still feeding these babies because I'm still eating them. Scott had his birthday during the week. Took his missus down London. Hope you enjoyed it, Scotty boy. You might still be there. This is Asda. No, was it? Yeah, it was. No, Tesco, sorry, Tesco. Little shopping if they ain't got what I want. Because they do everything. I have to go down Tesco. Just coming out of Tesco at the Tilly area. There's all these old books there. And there's that one there. I nicked that one and that one. And they put 50p in for them. Thank you very much. Right, Gladys. I got 4 trays of Gladys drying in the garage. They've been in there a week or so. So let's get them up. Start taking all the crap off. As you can see, he's broke off nice and clean. That one there. He don't look very good, so he went straight in the bin. If they are nice and clean like him, then job well done. These were still not drying off completely to rip off. I don't want to rip them off. I'm gonna wait till they come away. I'm gonna let them dry off completely, then combs. But any crappings, they go straight in the bin. Right, got more trays with me Gladys in the tunnel. Gonna get rid of them. Some of these now are pulling straight out. There's a couple of skins I want off him. That's enough. Because if there is a rotten comb, as I mentioned before, they'll be binned. Right, these lot now go in the garage. So I've walked them through the outside doors, and that's their storage space in there.
Mick,
Yes.
before you store them, before you put them in a loft or wherever, what I used to do was stick them in insecticide, rose clear. Soak them in that, take them out, dry them. If there's anything on, you don't overwinter it.
You don't overwinter them?
Right. If you put them in a rose clear,
Yeah.
right, that will kill any bugs that's in there.
So
when you overwinter them, the bugs would hide in the scales. Yeah. So if you treat them with this insecticide, fungicide, you get rid of all that stuff. You haven't got to worry in the spring.
Yeah.
That's what Nigel Coe told me to do.
Yeah, I know Nigel does it all. But that's just for thrip and crap like that, isn't it?
Well, it's just anything that's going round like that. You know, if you get any bugs that's under the scales,
Yeah.
you're not overwintering them. They're not going to multiply, are they?
Mm.
Something to
Early
think
on in
about
the
anyway.
season next year, I'd take the skins off anyway, so it comes down to a complete, like, nude comb, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what we do as well. But I do that
Yeah.
in the spring because you want to have a little bit of protection on them.
Mm. Oh,
It's just something, you know,
Yeah.
it's just something of nothing.
yeah. I know Nigel does it all. Cheers, Andy. Right, into the greenhouse. These are coming up, so I've just lifted that slightly, as you can see, and I'm just clearing the roots off basically, and trimming that base so he will stand up on his tongue. And my large pepper, pulling him out the road and all. So I've done the same with him, meaning I can sit these on the bench. Blackberry outside the patio. He's legged it another foot, so I've tied him up again. And looking at the other end, that spurred, I've missed him altogether. As you can see, he's got down to about there. Never even seen him. So I cut him off. Lizzie, speak to me.
I've got a Rubus Black Cascade. Have you ever heard of that one?
Black Cascade.
Rubus, yeah.
Yes,
Thornless blackberry.
correct.
Are they any good?
I've got 3. I bought last
Okay.
week. Yeah,
Okay, good.
we'll come onto him in a bit.
Okay.
That's supposed to be the dogs.
All
Well,
right.
it was.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Liz. Right, because I got rid of them now in the garage, I've got a bit of space, meaning These have been drying off now. My cormlets have been drying off a while. So it should be dry enough to upend. So that's what we're going to start doing. 2 grow bags I've just took the chaps out of, because that lot there is my spent peat. I've always, although segregation's compost, if that was an empty compost bag, I just rub that through, and that is my spent peat for one of my compost ingredients for next year. So that's what I want them 2 for. So I've got them 2 to sort out, and these cormlets to job. So I cut open them 2, and them ain't completely dry, but taking it that long. The roots I'll get out and go straight in the compost, because this stuff, once it dries out, and that stuff, once I've took all the cormlets out that remains, this would be ideal for one of my raised beds for growing carrots next year. Stump carrots, got to grow them as well, which I'll cover next week as well. But as soon as it's dried, then it's going into an empty compost bag. As you can see there, good brew. Every time I go past, whether it's half hour, a couple of hours, whatever, I'll just turn this so it dried. That was the wettest, dampest one. It does dry out pretty quick. Right, my second talk, this was obviously Thursday just gone. This was 13th of October, Burr Wharton District Gardening Club. This was Stokeson, Millborough Village Hall, Ludlow, right in the middle of nothing. Sat-nav only just found it. There's a farm over here, there's a farm this other side, and that was a car park. It was chocker. It was all parked in the main drag. But anywhere I do go, nights before, I always Google it, and I zoom in for things like this, surrounded by bloody sheep. Yes, I always go early anyway. I get, if the talk starts at 7:30, I'm there for 7, meaning I want to set up and get ready on time. You always go early in case there's a traffic, weather stops you or whatever. So you're set up within 10 minutes. I've then got about, well, say quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to go around with my empty bag which I got in there, collect molehills or sheep. But I couldn't get out here, because when I did turn up, because there was no sat-nav photo, they've now got cows in there, and I was looking for a gate and this to get in. Couldn't get some cow crap. I ain't got none of that. And this woman stopped me and said, right in the middle of that lot was a bloody red bull. I thought, Gordon Bennett. The other side, I noticed these molehills, but there was no way in there. And he said, so that was out the window. There was posh down there. This was right down as well, because of COVID. They reckon at least a quarter of them have got COVID. A few scared to come out. Don't forget, most of the gardeners are old ones. But that was posh there. Look at them cups and saucers. We don't even have them if we have visitors. Good talk though, enjoyed it, and they're going to get me again, which is always a good sign. So still picking my fruit for my weekly breakfast. Right, these lot have dried out, so empty bags go in the bin. So I've got me a full bag there of spent compost, ready for an ingredient, and that's got to go in the greenhouse. Beautiful stuff. That's going to leg it in there. Look, I've got room for him. That's all my compost ingredients under one bench. Right, now to sort my cormlets out. Got my trays ready. Papers on them. Lady Helen. This is a prim, lovely, beautiful yellow. Love this one. So these were little cormless, obviously, last year. Prim, a Shalimar as well. I love them as well. Love me prims. That one there, don't know the names of them, but that was Brill. I think there's about 3 I got with Brill on, meaning somewhat like a white with a pink throat. But them ruffled flowers as well, which I love. So obviously them all mixed. I'm going to keep the babbies off them as well. There's a lady and another one. It's a superb yellow. Obviously I don't know the name of that one again. That was white with a prim. They were odd prims. And that one there. The other one prims. So I've got all my trays out ready. A bit of paper across the middle, separating them. Paper across the top, so I've got 2 portions. That'll stop me cormlets going from that side to this side. Plus the papers up either side. So it looks after me babbies. And there's a spray chrysanth. Still feeding him. It's just about to open up. Right, runners. Time to take them down. I'm taking the canes out and I'm just laid in that way. Obviously that one's upright. That one is cockahoo. Because that's how they're going to be next year. Because next year I'm going to be peas, exhibition peas here. So when they grow, they won't knock against the cane. They'll be hanging loose. I'll cover that again later on. So if we pretend that's the pea, you ain't going to touch nothing, so you ain't going to get no marking. That's the idea anyway. Once them are drying off, then they'll go in the tunnel. And I'll sort this lot out again down here. Right, forking over this crap, I've got all the rubbish off. And this is your nitrogen modules off your roots. Off the runner bean roots. Saving that chap, there's a close up before it went to blurred. Some people leave them in as they are, that they don't disturb. But I just want to open the soil up, let some air in. So I've kept all that lot. Once this has been opened up, then that lot will be sprinkled on top and just forked in lightly as I'm doing there. Obviously it'll be top dressed and whatever, ready for next year. But we'll see how he goes. My canners, because I've used my own compost, tomatoes growing through and pepper seed. He's got in there and all. Just upend him. Nice white thick roots coming through. Have a proper perv, yeah, full of worms and all. So I'm doing well. There's another one upended. Right, these cannons which are outside, that cold. Paul, did I say it was Monday night? That might have been that one. Yeah. It's John B's.
Monday. It's still alright.
Yeah, the strong ones are still standing up. Whether these, I don't know. This is how them weak or all those coming to the end of the season, eh?
There's flowers on there. There's one all over flower. Pull them off.
Them?
Yeah. Flower. Does everybody flower to the top?
All the dens I pull off are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's just collapsed on his own weight. Well, I've had that before.
Mine's still flowering.
Most of mine are, yeah.
Has she Cleopatra flowered yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Mine's flowering again.
There's another flower. Yeah. Right, back to my corms. So try out, because I don't want to lose any of the babbies. I'm going to take them out if they got any on. Remember, most of me, well, all my pots, I just put a bit of paper underneath. See, there's roots coming out. Sign. So all I'm doing is taking the compost away from the top until I'm just below the corm. Then basically he's opened up. So all I'm doing is pulling one out separate. Just in case he's got little babies on, which he has. Because I don't want to lose them either. I'm just turning that one round, and there's loads on the other side as well. So then we'll be going in a separate pot. So that lot is going in there in a week or so. All the roots and the dry medium mussooties will be dry. Nigel Cohen, you on tonight?
I think he is.
No. I'll find out during the week, or does anybody else do? Do you cut the roots off at this stage, or let them dry first?
And dry, Mick.
Eh?
Let them dry.
Let them dry, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Have you got Careless? That's a variety of glad.
No, I did. I used to have it. I must have lost it because I can't remember seeing it this year.
They get very big combs, they do, and they produce plenty of comblets.
Yeah. It's a nice flower and all.
It is.
Jeffrey, got your hand up, mate.
Yeah, I've grown the comblets, you know, the 200 I said I got from Olga in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to dig them out now. And I asked Nigel the same question. You leave on the roots,
Yeah.
shake most of the earth off of them, but because I had thrips, even on the comblets, I dipped them all into a solution of Jay's liquid.
Oh, Jay's fluid. Oh.
Yeah, and then afterwards he said, leave them, then peel them next year before you plant them, peel them and dip them in the solution again, and then every 2 weeks spray for thrips. So I'm leaving them like Nigel said.
We can do that as well. So, yeah.
But I was really surprised. I never thought comblets that you plant would have babies. I thought it was only the big ones that got the babies. But
no.
I've got the same
yeah.
there.
That's it then. That's answering my question. Leave the roots on. Let them dry naturally. This is another chap I'm getting off. Right, so I'm taking the compost off before I disturbing anything. So that then lifted away from this lot. Because I know there will be no comblets in that. And just separating each one and going through each one individually. So that's a tray filled. Obviously all the labels with whatever that's in there. So some of these might be 7, not 7, right, 3 pots, 3 different labels with different dates on. And any little chaps, I'm help them out. Bung them in on the raised bed. If there are any combs in there, you can usually see them, like there's one there. Because he's a freshen. Or if they've dried off, dark brown skin, you should see him, or those easily as well. But most of them I'd have caught. And this was a large pot with even smaller combs. As you can see, there ain't much meat on them.
It's surprising how tough they are, Mick.
Yeah.
The volunteer comblets will grow like anything in the spring.
Oh, this is what we want. So slowly we get in there, filling the trays up once I've got them. Another lot got to go in there. What's this one? Is that Lady Ellen as well? Yep. This is that nice prim yellow corker. And he's got a decent one on him, and a few more there. Right, my compost, because I was getting potworms, you can see the little white chaps on there. You get too many of them, keep them down. It's wood burner ash that keeps them down. So I'll just give them a nice coating and them. What I've found there in some of my compost I was breaking out was a few worms, so I bugged that in my compost. There's a few old skins that just go straight in the bin. Also, some of them, when you rub the top off, I'm nice and firm, then that'll do for next year. Keep hold of them as well. So there's the main one with his babbies. There's two little ones. This just shows you they were small cormets to start off with. Another one I picked out, he's got loads on him. Another pot, just going through them. There's some little shoots on as well, but I don't know what to do with them, so I've been. But that's what this one would look like. You see the top, you know what the top looks like in a minute. But that one, Lady Ellen. So I shall have a few that will flower next year, and quite a few to put down as to get babbies next year. So just carry on the strain. There ain't many places that sell prims. In fact, we don't know anybody. You have to get them from the clubs themselves, which is at the shows. All of mates. But I love me prims. Right, 3 lots done, loads to go. Right, I've took all the top off, now we're getting close. You want to take these off individual. Right, my canes are dry, plus it looks a bit black over Bill's mother's. So I brought the canes in, which are there. Good job I did. Because the heavens open, and that's me legging it out the tunnel, that's why it's blurred. Bloody good downpour. So I went down to me and mum tank. Jeffrey, I can't remember whether you put these on or not. I think you did. Just sent me these bonsai, some of those bonsai fruit trees. Looks a bit saff, that one. But,
cool though.
You still over the top for a bonsai. I know it is a bonsai. The fruit was a bit smaller. Like that one. Now that looks better. That looks bloody stupid. Just take it off and eat it.
The one before me, was that a citrus fruit?
I should say it was, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. The leaves look like it.
Yeah.
I've got one of them.
Ah.
That look like that, but bigger.
Andy, if you've got it, flaunt it. Take a photo on him.
You've seen it?
That looks soft going. Oh, that one outside.
I've got 4 different types of citrus plants here.
Oh.
They also take cuttings well.
Right, Omer Hill. The canners are still doing well. I'm lasting.
Careful.
Right, let's get back in the tunnel, start doing a bit more. Good pink and white pink outer. Some of these labels was disturbed and all by me mate the fox. I can't blame me for everything. Or now I'm just doing them one at a time, just in case like this they are full of babbies and you don't want them legging it everywhere too long, so I'll cut them off a bit, then I'll give me a mix like that side. But there's quite a few cormets. Although some of the compost is dry, you still get a worm in. I'll just take him outside, that's the middle of his bed. Quick hole, bung him in, earth him back up again. The babbies, which I'm opening up here, they smell superb. Get in there slowly. Fill in another bag up. There's 2 more bags I filled up there, which would be good. So them 2 will go for me raised bed. And growing me strawberry carrots next year. Some of these you get up and there's nothing on them, and another one that is plastered. So that's got to be the female one, eh? Is there a female and male? I don't know. But I got odds on, better than last year. I had to go down the paper shop and give me some envelopes. Obviously, when I've dried them all out, I'm going to bung them all in. I'll do what I did again last year. Quite a few people had comments off me last year. So if you've grown them this year, you might get a chance to get a flower off them next year. Just let us know how you get on with them and what spares I've got. I'll let you know. That was one, and these 2 are stuck together. But I weren't going to split them apart. I'll just let them see if they come apart on their own while I'm drying. Another pot of brill. When I emptied this, and this was one of the biggest pots. Now this pot is superb, meaning it is nice and solid, like them you can squash in. But I thought, I know I'm going to be using 4. Liz, come on to you in a minute. But I've got 3 of them. Well, I've got 4, but I'll come on to that in a minute.
Nick, I don't know
yes.
if you know, if you don't take the eyes out, if you get 3 or 4 shoots on the comb, you'll get 3 or 4 plants from that one comb at the end of the year.
Yeah, I've split a couple last year. I tried that splitting.
But the flowers won't be as big for the first year.
Thank you for that. Something else I've learned. Karov Giant or Kirov, however you pronounce it. But these were a new one for this year. That's what they're supposed to look like. That's why I picked him. Beautiful throat, purple throat. But he's got a ruffled flower. Love him. You better come by like that next year. Right, we're getting there. Had me a quick cuppa. Odds, these are prims. That was one I showed Nigel. God knows where these come from. He was at Odden. And these prims. That was looking after him while I opened these up. I run out of trays, so I had to go and leg it down our zone again, back at the fruit shop. There's me babby. There's none in there, so I went to the next skip on the left. Bloody loads in there. So I legged it in, threw them all up this end, and took them up. Right, back home, got some more newspaper out the house, another mug of coffee. Right, these lot are drying out because I've just emptied them. I've just had 2 full bags of spent compost again, which is multi-purpose compost. So them 2 will be used for one of the raised beds, more for my carrot raised bed next year. Because I know there's no lumps or crap in it. All done. Thought about elevating that road on the pots, large pots at the bulk. Black Cascade. That's what it looks like. Obviously I've linked that photo off the internet. But you can use it in a hanging basket or a pot or a tub, whatever. So them 3 solid, large pots, perfect greenhouse. 1 for me blackberries, Black Cascade, 2 for strawberries. This is me uncle's fork. Look at the prongs on that. to sharpen them by hand. I'm lifting this crap because God knows where this is coming from. It's got to be coming from next door. It's like a creeping crap, I'll call it. And I'll go right down and get it out, pull it out. That's why I fork it over. Highness, just having a quick perv. But there were no rubbish to get out. There's only about 3 bits up that end. So whether it's coming from somewhere over there or going underneath, God knows anyway. Right, I've got my pots in. I bunged them down because there's slits on that pot. Buried them about 1.5 inches. Just so them slits are covered. Get them nice and level. That road and this road. I want that one level as well, so I use my broom to get that nice and level. Bubbles in the middle on that road. That's better. Then pack the pots up. Same the t'other end. So I've got 3 of them nice and level. Leveling nice and firm. Then put that straw back round. Because once he does get a good soaking, then that will keep the moisture in as normal. These lot, couple of days, well, halfway during the week or something, I shall just have a perm of them. They should be drying off nicely. This is a photo because I'm in a delphinium group as well. Somebody put them up, the delphinium now in the back garden. I thought, bloody no, look at that. Look at the colour on that delph, all the way down. Beautiful. Obviously they might open it up. But this, well, you know, it ain't in the UK over there. Because of them chaps there. Birds of prey. This was in South Africa. Obviously they got the warmth. But he was a corker, that one. This was this morning, taking the hound and walk. This is a football pitch top out over here. Some arseholes, as you can see, they nicked the car and they started legging it around the football pitch. And that's looking down the bottom where the kids, there's about 8 kids' football pitches there, young kids up, and they've legged it around there in the car as well. They must have nicked the car because when the cars go that way, you won't get on there. They come the road this way to get on these pitches, which is easy. They must have nicked it because it's only one way in. So if the cops did come, if they don't, then all they do is jump out of the car and leg it. But these arseholes, like there's a drop there, and a 12-foot drop, and they've come up that bank over here. As you can see, that's me looking down.
4x4.
Bloody arseholes. But cops don't come out anyway. Right, little shopping this morning, and the old flower pockets. I went down a pair of them, and I'm not so solid as the ones you get from the forest. These are too flimsy. So I was going to ask him for a load. There's some decent sized ones there, but now I'll stick to the forest. Not strong enough. Strawberries again, get the sun. I mean, raspberries, still throwing fruit, so I'm still feeding and picking, obviously. The rose, Pet's rose, is still throwing new buds. There's one there, a few more. But that's his permanent home now. At the end of the season, or when anything goes dormant, like him, you'll see where he started off like him, and see where how it's dropped, like most of them, all the fruit trees are in pots and everything. When he's dormant, he'll be lifted up, and I'll put a good drop of muck and compost underneath him so it brings him to the top again. So that's his feed ready for next year, start doing again. But he's come back into life again, and he's doing loop. And he's a good one because he's scented road. And my little chap round the bloody lime crop is doing bloody haywire. Nice purple flower with a yellow inner. But he's coming out at the end of the season like a bloody tree trunk. I wonder if that's the root in there. could be. Right, I've took my pot out of the one in the middle because I want to take that base out. Them 2 pots I'm having strawberries in, there's enough holes in the bottom of them for them 2. Because there's 3 blackberries going in here, I want to take that base out, make it better for them. We had some a good downpour during the night. In fact, it good time to have it rain at night, but it woke me up, it was that bad. And we're north facing, obviously up here, so that's west. Most of our rain, winds and shit come from the west, same as in Wales. I'm sure that where the rain's coming there. That's why all my other stuff is drying off the other side. Right, my tools to cut the bottom out, because this is proper solid. That'll do me. Busted. Bunging back in. Now the roots can go straight through there and they ain't got to fight to go through the small holes. It's a photo of the other end of the greenhouse. Looking from the grape end side at the top, and the grapes legging it along the wire. This was took this afternoon, Jerry Edwards Auto Services at Wisley. This was just dental, I think. So it is like Osmog, he gets everywhere. Carnations, never flowering again. Boston little. Boston colour and all. Top end, or looking for the top end that are gone. The Gladys, which I forgot. I've got some in here as well. So let's get them up. He's dried off nicely. So I'm just getting them up. So 5 I got out of that raised bed. Not many little babbies around them. But ideal. I use that pot to dry them out. Thank you very much. Right, another talk tomorrow. Compost ready to use within a month. Bewdley Horticultural Site in Coast there. Next meeting this Monday, 17th. Elm Church Hall, Dog Lane, Bewdley. Goes on the 7th and 30th. £3 entrance fee for $9. This is Bewdley. It's only half hour from us. This is our nearest seaside resort. I know it's the sea, it's only a river. But we ain't got no seasides around here. And that's where we leg it on a nice sunny day. Walk along the river, fish and chips, sit on a bench, Boston. Be nice to see them lot tomorrow.
I love it, 19 Dog Lane.
Good aid. If you remember that show I went to Saturday 2nd of July, Hanbury, which is in Redditch, Worcestershire. Reg Moore, this is what reminded me when I saw this. He was a compere for when I did a talk there. Now, Reg, he got paid. Yeah, ASAP. How they get paid? Because the woman who's in charge says it's all WI. Because I've judged the veg, and obviously WI were in more. They did their duty. And we had dinner. At least they gave us a dinner. And I sat with her lot. They said, no, it's all voluntary. I thought, crap. And the one who was in charge expected me to do it voluntary as well. I says, all right then. How about me fuel to get here? I says, oh, I pay for their own fuel as well. I said, if you'd looked after me next year, I'd have sorted. Because Nigel Cower mentioned it to him. I says, fancy doing a tour. And I mentioned somebody else, another subject. He says, oh, I was going to say to her, right, for next year, because you got not a lot on the gardeners, you got loads on the show for farmers. But next year, I'll get a talk on composting. I'll get a mate will talk on gladdies, mate will talk on dahlias. You know, make a good day of it. And that'll keep the punters. And once word gets out, you get more. Anyway, wouldn't look after us. Thought Sodger. So has lost me. He only shit on me once. That's it, people. Hope you've enjoyed it. There will be a Zoom next week.
Excellent, thanks, Nick.
Yeah,
Let's
thanks.
open that up. Just a bit. Because Ben was on tonight, the links that should be sent now, when you get an email, right? This is for you cool dude. When you get your link now sent out on a Saturday morning, there should be the blue link underneath. Just click on that blue link and you should get straight there. But hopefully you're sorting that out and all. Input is for next week. I got a Nick from Charles. He was going to put him on tonight, but he's under the thumb like all of us. I just take his missus out. Keep the peace. So he's on next week. But I still need a few more people with some photos if you can sort us out. Just a couple. Help us out. Else, good to see you on, Andy. Ian, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, mate, as well. Good to see you.
Good man, good man.
I talked to Scott this week,
Yep.
and his sweet potatoes are nearly ready to take out. And so am
Oh,
mine.
brilliant.
But the difference is we kind of said we'll take them out the same day because we
Yeah.
planted them the same day. But
Oh,
mine are in shade and his are in sun, and we wanted to compare. So maybe for next week we can
oh,
put the
brilliant.
pics up.
Yep. Have you mentioned it to him or?
Yeah, I've talked
Yeah.
to him, but we didn't say about this week or next week. So I'll contact him and see if he can do it this week as well.
Yeah, real.
Otherwise, we'll still wait a week. Mine have got first frost damage on the leaves,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's got frost damage yet or not.
I've had him in the ground before and the frost has jobbed all the tops. But
Yeah.
I'm still okay underneath.
Yeah, but we just want to see the difference between mine
Yeah.
are only get 4 hours of sun because they're at the furthest part of the garden, and that
Oh.
only gets 4 hours of sun.
Yeah.
So everything that grows there is kind of shady, like courgettes grow there, rhubarb grows there. And I thought about the sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So I bunked them in there, and I'll see what they do. Compared
Cheers,
to
Liz.
other years.
Thank you.
Bye, Liz.
Bye.
I'll see what they do compared to his, because they're planted same day, watered every day. So we'll see.
Oh,
Got to get me cannons in shortly. I've got
Oh.
I've got 15 or more in tubs outside,
Even out, just watch them.
and I got some which are way taller than me. That's not hard.
Andy, there's a bloody owl behind you that's taller than you.
That's a photograph that I took, Mick, which is we've got friends that's got the Screech Owl Sanctuary in Cornwall, and I've done the photography for all their advertising, and that's on their brochure or one of the
Oh.
ads. And it's also on. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's a placemat.
Oh,
It's a place. Sorry, not a place, but a coaster.
cause I know you know about.
Well,
Oh,
they got them and they sell them there. And they got. I took some photographs of various things there, and they got 7 bars of chocolate, different types of chocolate with my photographs on. Not a photo of me, because that wouldn't sell them. A photo of the different owls and critters, you know.
you cool dude. Right, peeps. We'll see you all next week.
Next week.
Here we go.
Bye.
Finish a few photos if I got them.
How's Villa get on, Paul?
Cheers,
You
everyone.
know, they
You know.
Bye all.
See you all.
Ta-ra, mate.
There are, mate.
Bye.
See ya.